All right, cool. My man, what's going on, Tihon, man? It's good to meet you.
Man.
Good to link up, man.
Yes,
this is real cool. I didn't tell you before the podcast. I know we talked a little bit of basketball and stuff like that, but when I was coming up and playing out west a lot and playing with a lot of guys from out west, it was always like I heard the name, but I didn't never know you. I don't even think we ever ended up in the same gym, which was always crazy to me too, especially you saying that you graduated pretty close to me and stuff like that. Is I always figured like, man, oh yeah, I probably played with him somewhere or something, and I don't really think we did ever come cross paths anywhere. But you were like a legend out there too, man. Like it was like I hear certain people say stuff, or you know how conversations go, oh, who's the nicest this and who came out of here and who's the nicest out of this school and that. And as it would happen, I random people like, oh, Tihon, man, Tihon, like that's.
I appreciate the love.
Yeah, man, it's real.
I got much love for the West Side. I used to go out there, Glenwood, Ashburn, Holt, like a lot of my grandmother used to live on Sullivan and not Larkham. What's the next one over from Larkham?
There's a few there. I haven't been over there,
remember.
But there's like Neshoba and
what's the park over there?
Hans Park.
I used to
it's on
right
Columbia.
over there.
It's on Columbia.
She lived right over there by Hans Park. So I spent a lot of time out west, man. They always showed me love. And the best thing I love about the West Side on the basketball side, they competed. I used to play with Ike and Scott G and those guys, man, they competed. So I love for the West Side.
Yeah, like we talked about a little bit before the podcast too. Ike was a dude that, like I said, I mean, he set the stage for like making high school basketball a big thing to me that I really enjoyed, because I was in middle school, my brother was in high school, and they were going on that city run of back-to-back city championships.
Undefeated.
Yeah, just balling out, man. Like I said, go to the games. It's like a movie.
Yeah, man.
You can't get more people in the door, and when something crazy happens, it blows up. And he would ball out, man. And
Triple-double.
Yeah, man. And him and two of the biggest guys that were influences on me from West, me going to West and playing around those guys and playing with them at times and stuff too, was him and Tihon.
Yeah, Tihon don't get his just due in the city.
Not at all, man. I mean, I think because of like him not doing much after school or whatever with basketball, that it kind of lost its
luster or whatever.
Whatever it is. But at the same time, like the thing that I loved about both of them is like in the biggest games, that's when you got the biggest games from them. So that's always been so trippy to me, because that was like me being a dude that wasn't that good. Like I told you, I just played. I mean, I just made the teams and stuff like that, whatever. I always admired that like crazy, because for me, like a big part of it was nerves, like straight up. It really was. Like I didn't play enough on a consistent basis to where I think maybe someone like you or a lot of other people that are really at the level that you and other people get to, where I think you could speak to how like it's like repetition, and it's how much the work you put in, the hours, the time, and things being normal to you, especially when you're out there on the court. So like I played a lot of street, you know what I mean, and just like little random 3-on-3 games and playing in Gus Mackers and stuff every summer. But as far as like that organized basketball, it was like only during basketball season. I played a little bit at the YMCA and stuff like that, but nothing. So like nerves was a big part of a big issue to me. You know what I mean, out there on the court. And I feel like to me personally, when I seen somebody out there on the biggest stages and the biggest games, like just playing like it was nothing.
Yeah, that magnifies their legend to you. Like,
to me, I appreciated seeing that like crazy. Like I really respected that. But so yeah, they were two dudes that really just had a big impact on me coming from out west, and it's dope to hear that you played at a lot of places out west, Holt, Glenwood, all that. That's all the same places I grew up.
Absolutely.
You just named all the places that I played at.
All of them, Yep. What's the one? Westgate, Westgate,
with the lumpy court out there with the one low rim. Everybody trying to get their jig off on the one side. You know what I mean?
I used to be in both, inside and out. Man.
And inside too. Like I guess you used to go down inside. With the hoop sessions and stuff in the summer. I kind of like started playing over there and coming over just a little bit after like it started dying down. I don't know exactly why they shut it down. Could have been fights, whatever. You know how it goes and stuff. But anyways, to get back to it, also, man, like, so when I started looking at a little bit of highlights and stuff from you recently too, it's like, so stuff just is feeding the legend too, man. Like I even see little random stuff. So one of the videos that comes up is a 50-point triple-double, man.
Yeah, man.
What was that? Seemed like it was that at what's the spot downtown? It looked like
Sawyer.
Yeah,
that's Sawyer.
It was?
That was like the second year of the Kingdom League.
That's what I thought.
I'm 37 now, so I was probably, what is this, 2015? I was probably about 33. So my legs was a little bit more fresh. We just had a big game, man. Like you're talking about a big game, and I had to do what I had to do, and that's what the result was. So I thrive on competition, man. Like you said, you put in a lot of repetition, and it prepares you for those biggest of moments, man. And when you're prepared and you're confident, you're able to do some things that you probably didn't know you could do until you're in the heat of the battle. You know what I'm saying? So that's what that was about.
Yeah, I mean, coming from someone like you, that's a question that I always have, and I think a lot of players have too, is like, do you feel like that's the difference in what really makes some of your, you know what I mean, your greats and your people that actually make it to playing pro overseas, playing low pro here, playing at the top level, even if it's like that time that's put in, and especially that time behind the scenes that people don't really see, not just the practices, but, you know what I mean, the late nights in the gym or the however many thousand shots at a time that people don't see. Is that really like what you would say kind of makes a difference, or you think it's a multiple factors? Or
I think it's a formula. I think it's a lot of different factors. To me, the foundation is you got to have a love for the game. So we're talking about basketball. You got to have a love for basketball, and I think that translates to anything that you want to pursue. Any person wants to pursue. But in terms of basketball, you got to have a love for it first and foremost, and that love will drive you to become as great as you can be, to learn the game, to study the game, to appreciate and respect the game. And from there, you start to build habits, good habits. Hopefully, getting in the gym. Basketball is an everyday sport. You can do something every day, whether it's, ball handling, shooting, working on your defensive slides, lifting weights, conditioning, running. There's something you can do every day. Going to play pickup, going to watch the game helps. So I think you need to, you develop a routine and a system for yourself to get better. And for me, in my own experience, the more time that I spent in the gym shooting, I'm a scorer more than anything. Shooting and just practicing different layups, different finishes, runners, floaters, all of these things. So now when I get in settings, I'm confident. I can score it from almost any kind of way. So I know I can do what I want to do on this court. I can impose my will. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that gives you the ultimate confidence. But to answer your question a little clearer, I think you need to have preparation. You need to have a love for the game, preparation, be coachable, be studious. And the biggest thing is confidence, man. You got to have a will, man. It's a saying that says it's not necessarily the skill of the man, it's the will of the man. Because, you get to them higher levels, Division I, higher level overseas, NBA, and guys are the same. A guy can jump 40 inches, you can jump 40 inches. He's 6'9", you're 6'9". He can shoot the three, you can shoot the three. Now, what separates them? And then it comes down to will. And
how bad do you want it?
Exactly.
Okay.
You want to, and you're not going to beat me. You know what I'm saying? In battle, It goes, it's just the beginning of time, man. Men are designed to compete. You know what I'm saying? It's healthy.
Sure. I can't agree more.
It's healthy. We need that. Like, it's in some way or another, whether it's in the business spectrum, whether it's video games, whether it's whatever you're into, men need to compete. A healthy competition, you know what I'm saying? So when you get to a point where you can say, if you beat me, you got to rip my heart out. Like, you're going to have to beat me because I'm coming with it. So, and if you're not relentless like I'm relentless, then I'm going to beat you.
I love, I definitely know what you're saying. I love hearing that from you because, that's relatable stuff to even somebody like me that didn't ever make it anywhere or wasn't anybody super nice on the court or anything. But those are the things that like made me able to play in some of the leagues that I played in or play in some of the games that I played in just because I played with that heart, you know what I mean? Yep. And not to talk myself up or anything, but that's just like, I always looked at like, if I can't do what a lot of these other players can do, at least I can hustle my ass off. Yep. I can go after every block. I can try to get rebounds, you know what I mean? And that was a big part. That was my game, is defense and stuff like that. And all that makes so much sense. And even the confidence thing and stuff, like I said, like, so that was something that I lacked. So seeing that in the great players, it only makes sense. Like, okay, yeah, that's another factor. That's, if you're not putting in the time and you don't have that confidence, it's where things are going to slip. Mm-hmm. And that competitive edge, man, and like you said, a man needing to compete, I feel like that's so clear, man. I feel like as you get older and you mature, you realize that, like you said, in at least one aspect of your life as a man, as you get older. Like, there may be certain guys that, like, don't latch onto it till real late, or it didn't come up in it, but so many of us come up in it, man, and get it from somewhere else, and it's just like, it's in every part of life. And I feel like that competition instills stuff in you or creates stuff in you that is a lot of good things. Like, a lot of people don't like it or try to shout, oh, you shouldn't be so competitive about everything, or it creates a negative vibe. And to me, it's the opposite. To me, it's like, it makes people want to be better. And like, that's what I'm all about. That's what the podcast has been about. That's what a lot of things about. It's like, I want to be better every day. Like, even if it's in the smallest thing, a better father, a better this, a better that. Like, and I feel like on the court, the people that did that on the court, those are the guys like you and other people that were able to go to great levels, you know what I mean? Because they wanted to be better constantly.
And here's the thing. I think, that's why I said a healthy competition. Because some people get so competitive that they become conniving or they start cheating or they're obsessed with it to where they're willing to do anything.
Oh, okay.
And that's when you get out of bounds with it. So my thing is, in sport, you go as hard as you can. You try to win. At the end of it, you know what I'm saying? So like, and what you said, you hit it on the head. You first and foremost, you're competing with yourself. So if I could be the best that I can be, and then I get out here on this court or in this field or in the business world, and I can give my best, I'm all right with that. Because you're not going to win every competition. But if I'm totally prepared and I go out here and give my best, then you're still a winner.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think as everybody is starting to say now and starting to kind of preach to the kids and realize maybe like a little bit of a flaw in our era and the people before us and maybe even our parents' stuff is like that loss that you take in competition is really important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like taking those losses, you need that check.
Exactly. You can't. That's a part of the process, man. We try to sugarcoat everything now in our society and, oh no, and everybody gets a ribbon. Nah, you need the sting of that loss. You need the experience of that loss. You know what I'm saying? Like, we talk about Mike. It took Mike, 8 years to finally get over that hump? He had to get it handed to him by the Pistons, by the Celtics.
Oh, and get beat up.
Yeah, literally getting thrown out the air, getting the elbow, you know what I'm saying? So like, that made him. And then when he got on top, man, he was unrelenting. Like, nah, ain't nobody taking it from him.
Right.
So, you know, we try to skip the process or we try to sugarcoat it and not keeping score and all that. No, man, that loss means something, man, because there's lessons in losses. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah. That it brings it full circle to some other stuff I want to get into. So, like, it's cool that we're in here in the gym that you say you kind of grew up in a little bit. And it's funny because I played for the Y out West and we came out here and played a decent amount of times. One of our like livest moments happened out here with like a crazy pass behind the back to a dude that played with us that I don't know if you know his name or not. I think I feel like I heard him mention you, but he was really good at track. Thomas Pinnell.
Man, that's my guy. We grew up together in Trevor Heights. Man.
Yeah.
Man, Thomas was one of the freak athletes.
That's probably where I heard your name the most early on or whatever. Is from Thomas. So Thomas played on the Y team and stuff with us, and we came out here and. I think also a lot of people out here know him. A lot of people on the team come out here, so it was a lot of animosity.
Right.
He ain't about to come out here and give us no work out here,
exactly.
Not on the home court.
Right.
So I mean, we came out this way, and the game was tight. And if I remember right, I feel like we edged it out. I don't remember for sure. It's crazy. The main memory just is this highlight. You know what I mean? Of like my brother come down. It was like kind of like in the J. Will area, white Jason Williams. So he did the little like in and out like this, like where you act like you're going around the back and dish it out. As them two was on a fast break and he takes off and almost dunks on somebody, just like throws it in. And like you said, he was crazy athletic. So him being crazy athletic, it was like that. It's him being a small dude. I think is really what always made his athleticism more entertaining, explosive. Yeah. That he's off the floor so quick or whatever. Yeah. So we came out here and played in this, and I'm pretty sure that is this the same gym, like the same.
They renovated it. It depends on what year it was. Because
that would have been like 01. It would have been like 01, 2000.
Because like 2002 they renovated and there's another gym on this side. It's bigger. When we came up, it was the court right there. You can kind of see where it was, and the court right there. Yeah. And we went like this, and we got two of them.
Yeah. I remember our bench being right here, man.
It was some benches right here, real small. Lunchbox type gym, but we used to get it in here.
Gotcha. So tell me a little bit about coming up and where exactly you grew up out here. I heard you say Trevor Heights, but exactly just a little brief story of where you grew up out here and kind of like some of your influences out here on the east side as far as basketball.
I grew up in two neighborhoods primarily. I grew up in Greenbrier. When I was younger, we moved from Greenbrier to Bolivar Arms. We lived there for about 2 or 3 years. Then they tore Bolivar Arms down, or they renovated it. And we moved across the street to Trevor Heights. So Bolivar Arms is the projects. Trevor Heights they doubles, but they like projects, how we was living. So we went from Bolivar Arms to Trevor Heights, and I was there until I left to college, pretty much. Both east side neighborhoods. You consider Bolivar and Trevor one neighborhood, but two of the roughest neighborhoods in the city.
Gotcha. What were some of the people who were some of the people that your eyes were on as far as influencing basketball or making you want to get into basketball?
Honestly, I really wasn't on the basketball scene like that until about 8th, 9th grade. I didn't play till my junior year, really.
Really?
But I started taking a serious liking to basketball by like 8th grade. I was getting in some trouble. But a couple guys that stood out to me it was just all neighborhood guys. So a guy named Ed Jenkins, he went to West actually. Monster, could have played in the NBA. He was about 6'8", 6'9", probably about 270 with like a 36, 38-inch vertical and mean. So he was like the legend to me. He ended up going to I think he committed to Iowa coming out. So he was like the only one that I saw that went D1 and all of this stuff. And Mike Bell, he was my coach. He played at ODU. He was really good around the neighborhood. Guys like Jason Smith that went to Centennial. My guy Clarence Womack. He never played, went to East. One of the best dudes in Columbus that never played. Had probably a 40-inch vertical. But he took me under the wing when I was in the 8th or 9th grade. Still getting into trouble. But he saw that I could play. He saw that I had heart. Kind of instilled some confidence in me. Showed me the ropes. And I attribute a lot of my success to him. So those were the guys who really were not role models, but inspiration for me.
Yeah, just influence.
Yeah. And I have one other guy. His name is James Summerall. I really didn't look up to him as far as his game, but what happened was he came to Sawyer. I probably was about 8th, 9th grade, 13, 14. He comes to Sawyer, and at Sawyer, I don't want to say we ran the gym, we ran the spot, but we were unruly, did what we want. We would get kicked out if we went too far, but just a typical hood center.
Yes. Sir.
And Summerall comes over and lays the law down, and we bucking against him and acting like we want to fight him and all this. And he was with all that. He was from the terrace, so he was cut like we was cut.
Right.
So at first we didn't like him. He was like, y'all gonna play basketball, y'all gonna come in here, y'all gonna run the track, and y'all gonna lift weights. We like, man, who is this dude? But then we saw that he really cared about us. He loved us. He started taking us under the wing, taking us out to eat, really having conversations with us, helping guys get into junior college and stuff like that. So he became like a uncle to us. And he would bring his older guys around and rough us up and get us prepared. And he really was instrumental in my career too, because A, he showed me he cared about me, and B, he infused us with confidence and let us know. Because I almost dropped out. By my 10th grade year, I was on probation. I almost dropped out of school. But he was like, look, my same guy, Clarence Womack, he took him to Grand Rapids, Michigan, and got him in school. And my guy, Clarence, he wasn't, his academic situation was horrible. And mine was too. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at it like, man, here I am, basically all Fs. I want to play basketball in college, but it don't look good. And he was telling me nah, I don't care what happens. I'm gonna help you. Even if you got to get your GED, I'm gonna get you to school. And that just turned on the light bulb and made me take everything serious, man. So those are the guys. People from my neighborhood.
Gotcha. What high school was this at?
No, this was just in the rec center.
Okay.
This is before I went to high school or anything.
Right. I knew that, but I'm saying you're at what high school?
Oh, at the time I was at Centennial.
Okay.
Yeah, I was at Centennial. I went to Centennial my first 3 years, and then I ended up at East.
Okay. Yeah. That's all the legend stories and things I heard. All the talk was coming from East. Yeah. But I don't know if you were already doing damage or doing numbers at Centennial first.
Well, here's the thing. My first 2 years was getting in trouble. I actually went out for the team my freshman year. I was on JV. I thought I was supposed to be on varsity. I got kicked off the team. I was just still a hothead. I got kicked off the team. So I really didn't play. And then my 10th grade year, didn't play. I got on probation. So I had to come to school. The security guy that's the head coach now, Roosevelt Osborne, shout out to him. He saw me. I used to be skipping class, going to every lunch to play ball. He saw me. Man, you talented. Why you ain't playing? And I'm like, so he ended up knowing who my probation officer was. And after that, he was like, nope, I'm going to keep my eye on you. I ain't going to let you slip up. So that next year, I finally got my grades. My 11th grade year, I burst on the scene. Nobody knew who I was. Averaged 20 plus. I had 51 games. And from there, all the schools in this area, from Big Ten schools, Cincinnati, all the schools start writing me. I'm getting on the phone with calls. I'm getting on the phone with coaches. I'm like, oh, this is real. So it kind of just made me lock in even more. So I went to Centennial my junior year. We stunk though. We was weak, but I got like all the individual accolades you can get. I could shoot the ball whenever. You know, if I'd have came back, I probably literally would have averaged 30 something. But I was like, nah, man, I want to win. I always wanted to win. So had a lot of schools pursue me. So I just went home. Actually, real quick, my first day of school, my home school was East. I lived in Trevitt, so my home school was East. My first day of school, I went to East High School. I looked around, same friends from Champion Middle School. Nah, I'm gonna get in trouble in here. I already know what this is. I gotta be out. So I left. So I just basically went back home, played with all my friends. All my best friends was at East. I felt like they were a player away, and I was able to help put them over the top. We made a state run, came up short, but it was an experience that I cherished, you know, for a lifetime.
There's nothing like high school basketball, man. Like playing that, I feel like at least for me, you know what I mean? I can't speak for everybody, but it was like, with me, especially not going and playing anywhere after and stuff like that, I used to just have dreams about it. Like, man, I want to, like, you know how it is, just that feeling of being young like that, being in the locker room, being around your boys that you play with.
Pure. It's pure.
Yeah, man. Super pure. Everybody's in it for the same reasons, you know what I mean? And like you said, that love of it. Plus, you're just young and everything. It's just like a lot of stuff is so brand new to you.
Man.
You know what I mean? You just love going to the other gyms and traveling to other schools, getting that different comp, getting the people to talk head and all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, talk of the town, man. Yeah. And then out west is almost different because the way y'all support is, you know, we always say the west side is a whole different town. Like, this is a whole town, you know what I mean? So, like, y'all, it felt like y'all had the support of y'all's whole, you know, side with y'all. Where, you know, out east it's kind of spread out. You got all these different schools out east, but I always admire that about the west side, you know what I mean?
Gotcha. I think a lot of that was, because especially back then, it was like West was like the school once they won all those cities back to back to back. It was like people that were good wanted to go there, plus then people wanted to support. You know how it is. People want to support the good team.
No doubt.
Yeah, they ain't showing up in numbers to come watch somebody be terrible.
Somebody get cracked.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that was part of it. But there definitely is. I've always seen a lot of like parent support out there and stuff like that, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But so then tell me a little bit of that recruiting process and stuff. Like, how did that go? And talk to me a little bit about like how you ended up making a choice and where it went from there.
In terms of Centennial to East?
No. Getting recruited when you start getting all the college
and everything.
Yeah.
Man, I started getting tons of big schools after me. But the thing was, man, my GPA cumulative maybe a 1.0.
Gotcha.
Like, I wasn't going to school 9th grade, 10th. I literally almost dropped out of school my 10th grade year. I caught probation. So I had to go to school or I was going to jail. So I just was so far behind academically that I couldn't go to school. I couldn't go to a college straight out. So what happened was we played against a guy named Devin Green. He played for the Los Angeles Lakers. Him and I became real good friends. He came from Akron and he did his senior year in Columbus.
Okay.
So when he came down, we were really good friends. And he committed to Hampton. That's where Ike went.
Yeah.
So he had told his coaching staff about me or whatever. Now they came to the game. I was hooping against Beechcroft. They offered me on the spot. They're like, we know about your grades. We don't care. I'm like, all right, cool. So that was that. So at the end of the year, they were like, you got to go to prep school. You're not going to graduate. You know, you got to do another year of school. Boom, boom, boom. I'm like, all right. So I went to a prep school, but it was $20,000. I had no way to pay it. Legally, they couldn't pay it. So I ended up coming home. I went to continuation school. From there, I took a visit. The principal found out I was at continuation school. He knew about me. He called me in one day to the office. I was scared, like I did something wrong. I'm like, man, I know I've been keeping my nose clean. So he sits me down, tells me he knows me, likes me, asks me how I was doing there. I told him. He said, I'm gonna help you. Got on the phone. Next day, Iowa State called. So I took a visit to Iowa State. They wanted to bring me in, but I would have had to sit out. That's 2 years in a row for an 18-year-old making his own decisions. I was like, nah, I can't sit out again. So they sent me to Mount San Jacinto Junior College in California. That's where Jamal Tinsley played in the NBA. He had went from there to Iowa State. They had a relationship. They sent me there.
Okay.
Yeah, so I ended up out there.
How'd that go? I mean, is that a culture shock as well as like a big shock with the difference in basketball or no?
Yeah, I mean, it was a culture shock, but I got over it quick. Basketball's basketball.
Right,
you know, once you find your niche, you can do what you do. But I did well out there. I was a JUCO All-American. One of my best friends at the time came with me, Waukee Williams. So we had great success out there. From there, I had a whole lot of big schools on me. Same predicament. Really wasn't doing what I was supposed to do in the classroom. I was supposed to I was committed to Baylor, but I sent in my transcripts. I had a D. Boom. I ended up going to Idaho. Played Division I there. Really struggled there, honestly, because it was just, for me, I had to be held accountable. I wasn't really ready to be held accountable.
You mean academically, or you mean
just
with the team too?
Just in life. You know what I'm saying? It was just like a big test for me, and I felt it. So ran into some adversity, transferred there. Finished at a smaller school my last year. We were number 1 in the country, had success there. And then from there, I just went overseas, played in the minor leagues, and played last year in China still.
Yeah. How'd that come about as far as overseas stuff? Did they contact you, or you knew somebody? Or, I mean, just give somebody a little bit of idea that doesn't know how that goes or how.
Typically, this is how it works. You know, you come out of college, do what you're supposed to do. You'll have agents on you. There's different levels. You know what I'm saying? From NBA all the way down. So I had some interest, went over there. I got on with a first division team, wasn't playing much, got on the second division team, did my thing. That's how it was for me. But for other guys, you know, you get an agent and, you know, they place you. Usually your rookie year is the easiest year to get a job.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically you're on a trial over there, you know. Everybody's like on a 1-month trial, and you know you just got to show them that you can play on that level, because European game is different than
really. How so?
A lot of different ways.
I know some of the rule differences and stuff, but
yeah, but like
you
it's
mean
just
legit
system,
different?
Yeah, it's just system
play?
Oriented, more like from the NBA down, G League, on the way down to the minor leagues in the USA. It's a lot of pick and roll game. It's a lot of ISOs. It's a lot of finding mismatches. Or in Europe. It's more catered to, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. System, you know, a lot like college. A lot like, you know. So it's cool. It was cool, but you know what I mean? It's just different, you know. And so a lot of guys have to adjust, you know, or you have to learn the European game and you have to work your way up. So, yeah.
And how many years did you do, like, or with what teams, you know what I mean, as far as like?
I played in Germany, and then I actually came home, believe it or not. I came home. I had a daughter, and her mother and I split. And I was over there, and then I just felt guilty. I grew up without a father.
Okay.
And then from the time she was born, I took off. I played in the minors, 2 spots, and then I went overseas. So I just came back, built that relationship. I actually was off for about 2 years, and then. I got back on the circuit, in the minor league circuit, and had some more opportunities, and then I got back over.
Were you still in the gym heavy, or no? You were just kind of doing your thing and trying to be a dad?
I was. Like, I always was playing. I always was just in the gym, keeping my touch. I never wanted to, like, lose. I love the game, first and foremost, so I never wanted to lose it to where like, I just couldn't get out here and come to a gym like this and still be who I am.
Right.
And so I was always still in there, but like I turned it back up once I knew I was going to go try to get some more money with it.
Gotcha.
And yeah, so that's how it happened. So I was able to get back on the scene and, you know, make some money with it again.
Gotcha. Did you do some good numbers over there and have some decent success with the teams? Like, did they, as far as like in the leagues or playoffs, championship type thing over there, how did the team?
Yeah, in Asia, I did more on the, you know, as far as winning championships and stuff like that.
Okay.
So yeah, I've had some good success over there.
Gotcha. I saw a clip even where they were like talking about how they treat the players like stars over there, and they were interviewing you and all these crowd, all the I don't know, I think it was in China maybe, right?
Yeah.
All the Chinese girls around you and ask for pictures and autographs, and everybody trying to interview you at the same time. I just seen you smiling like just like this is a lot at once. You know what I mean?
Yeah, in China in particular, and they love basketball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a craze over there.
So, yeah, I think that's why the like LeBron and everybody does the Nike tours and stuff over there, right?
They have to just because
of how big it is and how much attention and money it brings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, so they have to, and then So over there in terms of NBA, like Steph Curry, Bron is up there, but like Kobe, how Jordan is to us,
right,
is how Kobe is to them. So Kobe's the number one.
Because they kind of picked it up a little later.
I don't know what it is, man. They just love Kobe. They love his mentality. They love champions. So I guess like when they start having the TV deals with China, he was on top.
Not to mention, I wonder too, if there's a decent amount of travel to LA with like family members and stuff, and people coming back talking Lakers, talking Kobe,
and that whole West Coast, from the Bay Area down is a big concentration of Chinese,
Asian, for sure.
But
I saw when I was in Hawaii, there was a ton of Asian people out in Hawaii.
Absolutely. So outside of New York, LA and San Francisco area has the biggest Chinatowns in the population.
Gotcha.
So, but China is great, man, for basketball. They're growing, man.
What is that like being over there, though, man? Because I always wondered that as, like, just a person that, never did nothing like that or never. What is it like being in a place where, like, how much stuff is in English, or how easy is it for you to operate on a day-to-day or just
in the bigger
not
cities,
feel out of it?
My experience, like, wherever I was, in the bigger cities, whether it was Europe or, in the Caribbean or wherever, the bigger cities is always more accommodation towards foreigners, especially those who speak English.
Okay.
You'll have, like in China, you have signs that are in Chinese, obviously, but still in English, and then you'll always have people who speak some English in the bigger cities. In the villages, forget about it.
Right.
Yeah, forget about it.
I mean, that makes
smaller
sense.
towns forget about it. And it's a vast difference. So like if I'm in Shanghai or if I'm in Beijing, you get a lot of different Western fast food spots or stuff like that. Or you can go to like a Walmart. They'll have a Walmart or something like that. But
Stuff that makes you feel a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more at home.
If I'm in smaller towns, nah, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle. So,
what do you do there? Just try to talk to some teammates?
Usually you got an interpreter or something.
Gotcha,
so for me, though, I eat particular. You know what I mean? So a lot of times out the year I don't eat meat. So that's the biggest thing for me, because over there they eat whatever. Literally, they eat whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So and then like it's culture shock. You go into a grocery store and they got live, like fresh animal parts on ice,
right,
like not packaged. You know what I'm saying? The smell is hitting you. The fish is still alive, bouncing around. It's just crazy, man. So, I mean, it's definitely a culture shock, man. A lot of different things that you got to get used to, but all in all, it's.
How's the coaching and stuff over there? As far as like, is it a lot of like American coaching, or it's kind of all over the place, or it's more their coaches?
Yeah, where I play is more Chinese guys, and you have interpreters. But like in the top league, I didn't play in the top league. Jared Sullinger played in the top league.
Okay.
They have guys from. It's a mix. They have some guys from America, some guys from Europe, some Chinese guys.
You feel like you have some pretty decent coaches over there, or so, or what?
Yeah, as long as they let me do what I do.
That's what I like to hear.
I ain't tripping.
Gotcha. Yeah. So then, going forward now, man, I feel like now there's things you got going on. Like I heard you mention, I was already kind of aware of it. You train Trey a little bit. I see kind of you working with some kids from time to time. You training, and the Kingdom League, man. The Kingdom League is definitely the move now, and I see the attention it's getting and the way it's building and the way it's developed. I mean, even to see like. From that clip, I seen of you dropping the 50-point triple-double and stuff to see where it's at now. And I know you gotta love the 270 hoops aspect of it. Man, I had Zach on.
Zach's a good one, man.
Yeah, he's a super good dude, and his passion and knowledge and love for the game, even though it's not like he's not a player like you, you know what I mean, or whatever. He's more somebody that's similar to me that just played and then just had a love for it and sports in general. I love seeing how in depth he goes with it and the time he spends in it, man, and what he wants for the kids of the city and stuff.
Man.
That's where it hit me good, where I'm like, yes, more people need to know about him and all that type of stuff. But I feel like it's had to have been awesome to get a lot of that coverage and footage for you. That I feel like it's helped spread the brand and stuff a lot too, because they put out good quality videos. They put out stuff on a regular basis, and they seem to be just about anywhere where there's some good basketball going on in the city that they try to get there, you know what I mean, which is cool too.
We got like an unwritten partnership with them. And it's so funny because from like day one, literally, Zach Fleer was there and he was just coming. He was still in school, I think. He was still at Ohio State. He was at the the first day of the Kingdom League. We talked, we met, he was cool. And we kept a relationship from there. And it's almost like we grew together. We weren't together, but we grew together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What he was doing with 270, with the Burford 270, what I was doing with the Kingdom. And always had each other's back, always was cheering for each other. And usually in the summertime, they're off doing AAU, right? So they can't be there as much. But now they've grown and they got some other guys that are here while, you know, Jason might be gone and Nate will be here or vice versa. So that was a beautiful aspect to it. I love what Zach and Jason and those guys are doing at 270. They got my support.
Tell me a little bit how it got started, man. How the Kingdom League got started. Not to interrupt you, but like where the thought process came from and like just getting it rolling and who was involved in that aspect of it.
Well, the Kingdom for me, the basketball side of it. I told you I was out in California. Spent a lot of time in New York. Spent some time in Chicago area. Played in the DC area a couple times. So I played in these different places, man. And I saw aspects of the game and of the community that I liked that were kind of missing here, right? So we had one of the best pro-ams for a long time, the Worthington League. But the vibe wasn't the same as some of the other places I played in. And then when I got older and of age, like in college and all of that, it kind of died down a little bit. And as a hooper, I'm like, man, we need somewhere to play. We need somewhere to play, and we need somewhere to play that's lit. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's it playing in the city. I got it as soon as you started to say that.
Yeah. So I saw this other places, and I'm like, So we would talk about it. Me and some of my friends, we would talk about it, and then I just felt the unction, man. I feel like God just put it on me to just make it happen, man. And the reason why I went with the name Kingdom, I studied under a guy named Dr. Miles Monroe, and he was a great man of God, great businessman, great counselor, all types of stuff, right? He ended up passing a few years ago, but before he passed, I was studying up under him, and I had to do an assignment basically where I had to use like my gifts and whatever I was good at and make an impact in my community, right? And I started to do that, and naturally it was basketball, right? So with that, I started to do certain events, certain community projects and stuff like that, and use my influence, and that just gave me the idea to make this event. I had the vision of this event, kind of like where it is now. I still got more of a big picture, but this started. So at first I was like, all right, I want to get this building and I want to do it this way and I want to do it this way. And he was like, nah, just go. Where you at right now? So that's why I started at Sawyer. Sawyer means so much to me. Growing up in there helped save my life. Started it there, reached out to all my friends, all the players that I'm cool with. We started it there, and they, saw the vision. They liked it, and it's just grown. I got Coach Vic, who's helped me tremendously. My wife has always been right there by my side on it, and we just, we built a small team, and we just kept on building, and we're here with it now. And that's where it came from. So I just wanted to just show, and then not only that, the people that I know all over, not only the U.S. but all over the world, like I wanted to showcase for them, like this is how we get at it.
Right.
We got hoopers, it's lit on our end too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's always cool too, because even when you were saying it earlier, I always talk about like there's always people in the city too that sometimes people never even hear of. You know what I mean? Or never really think too much of, or like that are killers, man.
There's so many of them, man.
So many.
So for in our event, I just feel like you get a platform where you get to show. I'll give you a perfect example. AJ Davis, man, one of the better players in Columbus, and it's hard for me because I know everybody in the city, right? So in terms of basketball, so everybody would be like, hey, let me play. So what I did was delegated to all my coaches, you go get your team, and for whatever reason, they didn't go get AJ. So AJ's in the gym one day, comes in, Coach Vic puts him on the team, and dude had 30 in the first half. And he wasn't even on the team at first. Y'all forgot this dude is cold. You know what I mean? He came in and he killed. And man, it's just so many. So I just felt like we needed to make a platform, make a stage where dudes can put on and perform, and the city can, love it and enjoy it. It's community-based, it's family-based, man. Everybody come. And our motto is spread love is the kingdom way. So everybody come, the vibes is perfect, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's what it seems like to me. And that's what I think people love about it too. Like you said, that positivity or knowing that it's doing something and plugging in something that's missing. You know what I mean? I think that's where people really like it. Mm-hmm. And but talk to me a little bit, since our podcast too, a lot is about like entrepreneurship and making things happen and trying to get stuff started. Was there times, man, where it's like it was a struggle where things weren't going right at times, or has it been pretty? Yeah, where
sure.
you thought maybe I might have to give up, or maybe
just getting frustrated, and people. Sometimes you depend on people, they don't come through or they don't understand. And for me, I just like, you know what? I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do. I'm gonna come out of my own pocket. Me and my wife is, doing makeshift stuff. Getting Coach Vic gave me 70 jerseys one year. Like, just trying to make it happen, man. It's that adversity, but like we were saying earlier, man, that adversity builds character. Yeah. If I don't ever go through that, then we won't be where we are today. So, yeah man, absolutely.
It seems like that work ethic that you had on the court, translated to the same work that you put in this and that same thought process. I mean, even when you said, like, when I thought about it, it was just like, just go, just start where I'm at right now and just make it happen. It's like, there's a lot of people preaching that now, and that's been a heavy theme of our podcast with all the people that came on and had their business thing going. But it's like, even for you to say that you thought that way a couple years ago, you already just had that mindset, like, nah, you just got to put that work in. Absolutely. Like, you just got to go. Absolutely. I love hearing that from you, too. And it makes a lot of sense on why things have progressed like they have. I love seeing, like, just those old clips. And like you said, seeing y'all in some jerseys that maybe somebody threw your way or whatever. And you're just playing at the center. That's something you grew up in, whatever, to where now it's like playing in different locations. The jerseys and all that stuff is nasty. You're getting all these NBA players coming in, and it's getting a lot more attention. And I think coming now is the playoffs, right? Where it's really about to go down. It's getting serious.
It's crazy, you hear me? So we got, the way we did our playoffs, we took half the teams. We had 8 teams, top 4. And we're going to have a Final Four this weekend, this Sunday, and then we'll have a championship. And it gets rocking in the playoffs, man. You know what I mean? And then Trey's home. Trey just signed with Philadelphia 76ers.
Right.
He's on one. He's been working all summer. We got to play against him. I told him I wasn't going to train him this week. Like, nah, we can't. No, but man, that dude can get 40, 50 points whenever he wants. But we got a lot of good guys. There's so many good guys in the league, man. We had about 5 or 6 guys with NBA experience this year. So obviously Trey's the headliner, but man, there's so many guys. We had the Ohio State guys, man. Kaleb Wesson, Luther Muhammad, Dwayne Washington, Lonzo Gaffney, EJ Liddell.
They've really been showing you something, man, to make you feel like they're going to do some things this year?
Oh, man, they're going to be really good, man. They're going to be really good. Them and Michigan State are going to be at the top of the Big Ten.
Are they long? Like, I didn't really pay attention to some of the height.
So, all the guys I ran off, the young guys are EJ Liddell, Lonzo Gaffney, DJ Carton. He didn't get a chance to play in the league, but he's like the top recruit. He's a guard. Liddell was like a 6'6" guy. He could do everything. He could stretch it out, hit the J, athletic. Gaffney's real tall, long, 6'9". When he gets stronger, it'll be real better. Luther Muhammad's a dog, man. Just aggressive on both ends of the floor. Dwayne, smooth. Kaleb lost a lot of weight. Looking good, so Ohio State is going to be a problem this year, man.
Yeah, I love, too, that your whole league, man, just really puts on display how many cats from the city or that have some kind of affiliation from the city are really doing big things as far as, like, really on big college teams, playing pro, whether it be overseas, semi-pro here, or actually in the league. It's like, I think people didn't realize how many people have really went somewhere or done something out of Columbus.
So you got Nick Ward went to Michigan State. You got Javon Best went to the tournament. He went to Michigan State. He went to St. Louis. Went to the tournament. They both played in the summer league, NBA summer league. Who else, man? You got Devin Scott, man. He's playing in Brazil. You got Jalen Robinson's playing in Asia. Devon Moore, like a 10-year pro in Europe, man. You got so many guys. And then we had a lot of guys from Dayton area, Lima area, some guys from Cleveland, Cincinnati. So it's spreading around the state. It's spreading around, man. Guys
it's building. It's building. That's
guys are hitting me from all over. We had a couple guys from Detroit, man. Okay. We had the leading scorer in the MAC. He played at Kent State. He loved it. He'll be back. Man, we've had some. Antonio's Cleveland. He's from Memphis. Man, he plays for Dallas Mavericks.
Okay.
He played and he came down. Man, it's just.
Yeah, I see the growth, man. I see it because I feel like that's why it makes me excited for y'all too, because I feel like it's just going to keep just going to keep going, and it's from what I've seen so far, it's like every summer it's more and more. It's like,
and trust me, I'm out here in the trenches, man. You know,
I'd like to hear that even more.
I'm blessed, man, because I get a chance to still play at my age, and I meet a lot of people, and I'm blessed to know people in the NBA, so I get a chance to be, you know, on that stage and around, not on that stage, but in that environment. And on the college level, I get to be on that environment. I know some high school All-American guys, so I'm trying to bring in as many guys and show Columbus, like, man, we really trying to do something big, and it's for us. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, I'm trying to showcase what we have to the world. Like, man, we got some players, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and one of the real cool things that I seen you doing too is something that I appreciate like crazy too, is like with the awards and like really showing appreciation for some of the people that had influence either on the city or on you directly or a little bit of both. And some of the people that I'm pretty familiar with, basically everyone that you've done through some type of way, whether it be like Ike and them from playing with them out west, or some of the cats like seeing you do stuff with Cyrus and people and Woo from out east and stuff, and just knowing names. A lot of people I know from playing in the Gus Mackers and stuff, coming up playing against them and things like that, but then hearing what kind of numbers they were putting up in their schools, and then now seeing what they're doing coaching and trying to help. It's, to me, that's been something real cool that like some of the dudes, like it's specifically even them three that we just named, like Cyrus, Ike, and Woo and stuff, like those are dudes that I would never at younger age when we was all playing and talking a lot of heads, stuff like it's, you don't look at it and think like, oh yeah, when they get older, those are going to be the dudes that are really trying to help the kids or trying to do something.
Never think about it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people probably thought that about me too, or like I wouldn't be trying to make an impact or do something what I'm doing with this or whatever. But it's like it's been real cool for me to see that they have like really went that route and try to like really build the community. You know what I mean? And then to see you doing that on an even bigger level and then spotlighting them, I think that's so dope because it makes more people want to do it.
No doubt.
So like it reminds me of what I heard somebody say recently about like social media and stuff, where it's like at first people were doing stuff like congratulating people or things like that just to try to tell people like, I'll just let it go and then we'll pick back up. Cool.
We got like 10 minutes. They can kick us out.
Yeah.
We'll keep going.
We're basically at the end anyway, man. But I think that's real cool that they're like, just by people like on social media congratulating people and stuff, just trying to be a part of the conversation or because it's the cool thing to do now, this and that. It also, in a way, is kind of just creating that in people to want to be better to people, to want to talk people up, stuff like that. So it's like, that's the same type of thing. Even just you putting people on that stage and congratulating them and giving them an award, I think that makes other people like, man, like I want that award. So it makes them want to do better or do a little bit better for their community or for the kids, man. So I love seeing that too, and that's been something that made me respect you in the league even more as well, man.
And I had to, it's funny because, and I thank you for that. I look at it like a domino effect of positivity. You know what I'm saying?
My God.
So it's like, for me, even with the connotation that we use the word hood. Because a lot of these guys come from the hood, or even if they don't, my thinking was, okay, we're going to use something that could be deemed negative and turn it into a positive. So we made the acronym Helping Others Out Daily. So not only I'm not just going to give you a community award, but I know the work you do behind closed doors where you're looking to help somebody out. You're not looking for nothing in return. This is what you're doing, whether it's through sports or whether it's just in life, period. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, and even if they are doing it for that award, it's like if they're doing good stuff for the community and the kids, it's good.
As long as you're doing good.
As long as you're doing good, it's in there. So before we get out of here, man, is there anything else you want to say about the league or about what's up next or your goal or for whatever for the league or anything you want to shout out or even tell people where to find the league on social media, anything like that? Put it out there.
Well, first and foremost, I just want to thank all your viewers, all your listeners, Columbus, and people, even beyond, for rocking with us, for supporting us, for showing up, for sharing, posting, whatever it is, man. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate it because at the core of this, man, I want it to be about our city, our community, And yeah, so that means a lot to me. I appreciate this platform, you reaching out to me, man. This is fun, and thank you for putting us on, like I said, using your platform to spotlight us. Yeah, you can find us on Instagram, Kingdom Summer League, all one word. Facebook, Kingdom Summer League, all one word. Just stay in tune with us, man. If you can get out and come check out some of the games, you won't be disappointed, man. Some of the best basketball players of this generation from our state and all over. It's a good time, man.
Yeah,
like
man. I'm trying to come catch the playoffs for sure, man.
Please do. The vibes is good, man.
Yeah, I'm definitely trying to come catch some of the playoffs, and the feelings are mutual, man. I feel like that you say the appreciation, man, and just being thankful to do this and the support that you're getting. I feel the same way, man. I'm super thankful and appreciative that you were willing to do this and the support that we've gotten, and that I know will come from this as well with bringing you on, man. And it's been an awesome episode, and I really enjoyed meeting you and getting to know and getting to see you be the fact that you're the same person that I thought you were, you know what I mean, or the vibes that I was getting from your social media and from what I was hearing and seeing with posts and stuff like that, and a little bit I've heard from Zach and other people, to actually meet you in person, man to man, and see that is who you are and these are the things you're about, and see it in your eyes, man. See that it really means something to you, and you have a bigger picture in mind at all times, man. It's awesome to see. But on that note, man, let's get on out of here. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you, man.